Give this a second. You'll have to back up out of it and restart it like we normally have to because it gets all choppy. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Hopefully, I give you folks a chance to come in. While we wait. I know I did not announce this. I'm sorry. Should have announced it, but hey. Okay, should be on there long enough. We're going to close this and open it back up. So I'll be right back. Hey, that time it worked. All right. And it's back to being smooth. That's good news, right? So, we'll give a few minutes for people to settle on here. What's going on, Worthless Morphs? That was fun doing that live, by the way. Hopefully that did pretty well for you. I haven't followed the analytics of it lately. I'm hoping it did okay. Our little Scaleless is still doing good. Should be shedding any day. Has not done that yet, so fingers crossed. We just went from dry to more moist, so hope it'll help it out, because I can see it's getting kind of wrinkly getting ready. As far as how my day is going, it ain't bad. So right now it's just me here, with it being a holiday. Kurt's going to spend that with his family. We'll move our film day a little bit. That's good. That's good. Massively busy is okay. Baby rattlesnakes are doing okay. So they are the reds, the original reds we had, they are kicking ass, and they took the food right away. They gave us zero problems, right? These other ones are a little slower to get going, to be honest. They're fighting me a tad, so we're trying a few different things to get them running. We got a few of them running, a few of them are kind of, so we'll see what we can do with them. Hopefully they'll take off and do well for us, because they're really, really pretty little babies. Now, they're a little bit more difficult, right? You can't expect, well, shit, I'm just going to assist feed that thing. It's just a lot more of a difficult process when you're dealing with a venomous snake to do that. I have done it before. It's not something that I want to have to get to. It's just not the easiest thing to be blunt. What you do is you'd run it in a tube, and you'd run the food in a tube, and you'd get them to kind of meet, or you get the snake out the tube, pin it a little bit, get it to open and stuff it in and get it started. So yeah, it is interesting. So we'll wait till we get maybe 25 people or so in here. If we can hit that mark today, since I didn't give any warning, it'd be great. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, whatever you need to do. And then I'll share Clutch 25 with you. This is what I'm kind of excited about. It's going to be interesting to say the least. The stream didn't die, not on my end. I'm still seeing it. Austin, is everybody else still seeing it? Because it shouldn't die. I'm sitting on the good old Wi-Fi, just double checked. You may have seen it come in and out for a sec. For whatever reason, when I first start YouTube Live, it's always really, really glitchy, right? And then we have to start it, let it go for about 30 seconds, back out and back in, and then it's smooth as butter. I don't know why that happens. I got no idea, but it happens. So, yeah, it's just annoying. But we have to do it, make it look good, so that's what we do. So what do we have here? Fourth time to catch a live. Well, welcome. So yeah, I see we went from 16 to 13. We may not make it to 25 today, y'all. We're back to 16. Let's get some more people up in here. Get those notifications out, right? So anyway, I'll go ahead and tell you what we have. This is nothing too crazy. The odds should be pretty solid. So what we did is, this is a bell, so a super lesser bell, and it was bred to a GHI. Of course, we're wanting to get some lesser GHIs. Kurt seems to like those better than Mojave GHIs. I seem to like the Mojave GHIs better. We did try to breed some Mojave GHIs this year. However, our Mojave female didn't go. Yeah, good fun, right? Don't know about that, Ryan. I'm not really a false water cobra guy. It's just not my bag. They're cool. It's just not my bag. We don't have a single regular rattlesnake right now. We may, in the future, have some, oh God, I guess you'd call them normal single het, possible double het. So what I mean by that is, we got one female yet, I think, can have babies, and she would be, the father would be one of the reds, so we would know that they're het for the blood gene, which we proved out last year, right? The mother is another wild caught that appears hypomelanistic. I'm pretty sure the hypo is going to prove. I really think it will, but I haven't proven it yet. So that's why we were going to say it's definitely het for the blood. We think it'll be het for hypo too, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's just kind of where that's at. But yeah, I really like the Bubble Gums. I think they're one of the best looking rattlesnakes out there. So question, ideas for a male spot nose, blade, orange dream, yellow belly pairing. Well, with blade, you pretty much have to stick it with clown. I hate to say it. But with spot nose or an orange dream, and I'm not even worried about the damn blade. So spot nose, orange dream, and yellow belly, you should be getting some really sporadic pattern and some really nice color. I would think if you could put that to something else that would cause some pattern disruption, the leopard would be a really, really good thing in there. You'd rich up your blacks and you get a lot of pattern disruption more. I like what leopard and spot nose do together. So I think something with leopard would be a path I might try to take that personally. Obviously, if that's your female, you may not go single gene leopard, but yeah. You know, what I can say on Westerns so far, yeah, leopard black pastel would be perfect. It'd be all right to go that route. I mean, let me double check one thing really quick. Spot nose, blade, yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. When it comes to Westerns, I don't ever trust any, man. Like, you know, and I've got some that are pretty nice most of the time. I've got one that will set me up. She's such a bitch. But I find that the captive bred are a lot nicer than the wild caught. Surprise, surprise, right? Even first gen captive bred hardly rattle at me. They don't care. My holdback one from the Bloods is a little shy. It likes to hide a lot. Like right now it's out, and at least it was. Let me look. If it is out, I'll show it to you. It is still out. I'll show you all this before we get rolling today. And it's pretty shy though. It usually is in hiding, but right now it's out. So I'll let you guys see. This is what they're kind of looking like now. That's with some age on it. That color is not really coming out. Let me see if I can get a more natural color on this thing for you, because it just isn't pulling it. Still not pulling enough color. So the camera is not really doing this thing much justice, to be blunt. Made a mess there. I'll give you an idea of the color. They come out, man, and they poop like a crazy snake. There, my back up, you're getting a little bit more of the color, but it's still not as deep of a red as it should be. I don't know what to do to get that color to come in there. I mean, sorry I can't get the color to be right, y'all, but that's what you're kind of looking for, right? Whoop, let me get rid of there. I can't look at Patreon on my phone. Do you have any more Blitz or Blitz combos available? I'm trying to think if right now we do or not. We don't have the current list up. We're going to get that this month. We're going to change to an ongoing living list, and you'll see more of that there. Now, see, and then the colors right. For whatever reason, it has a really hard time picking up those colors. Yeah. I mean, it's like a Coke can in some places, right? But the problem is it's not like that throughout. There's a lot of different red tones in there, down to a salmon color and up. So it's really hard to get the camera to figure out all those, especially on my cell phone. This is a Samsung Flip. It's not the world's most color dynamic camera. Probably better with like a good Pixel or something, you know. Or as much as I hate to admit it, maybe even my wife's iPhone would probably be a better choice because it tends to do color really well. And I'm not an iPhone guy, so I hate to say that, but it is true. All right, y'all. Well, we got 22 of you in here. I think that's good enough to tell you what has happened with this clutch and start our cutting. So this is about day 58. I just kind of let these sit there, you know. Not a problem, man. I wanted to give some time, and I love showing those off. And that thing is never out, man. It's almost always in its hide. And you see it in there, and it comes out to feed. If it is out when I first come in, if I look at it too close, most of the time, 10 seconds later, it runs into the hide. So, like, it never rattles at me, but it likes to stay kind of hidden. So today is a rare treat that it's out this much. So, yeah. I am not an iPhone fan, but her new one that she got, which is not the greatest, latest thing. It's like the 14 Plus or some shit. Amazing photos. I got to give that thing credit. So these are at day 58, and I went to check them. I should have checked them a couple days ago, but honestly, in the incubator, I wasn't worried about it. And well, they pipped, and it looks like they all came out the egg. So this is going to be more of a reveal than it is a cutting. So just You have to bear with me here. These guys are all out. So you know what I should have done? I will do it. I'll make this a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get a baby tub really quick. So I can show them to you while I put them in there. This is what happens when I think of this last minute. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay. Now I got a place to put these as I take them out, because they'll go into the incubation, honestly, right away. And it's almost listed right. So, GHI Mojave, 8 eggs. GHI Lesser, 8 eggs. And the first one we'll pull out is just a Lesser. So that's, pull the axis crawling first. I honestly don't know how many I have. I wouldn't talk about them Huskers too much right now, man. Minnesota kind of got them, right? Well, I'm pretty happy with my Cats. UCF looked pretty good in their debut, but it was Kent State. So it is what it is. So we know everything in this clutch is going to be Lesser, right? So I got 2 snakes here, so we kind of nice so I can get them to separate. Whoop, whoop. So we got another Lesser. This is what a GHI Lesser is going to look like. Now, I am a fan of the GHI Mojave more because I like the blacker blacks. I think this washes it out too much. Of course, this is going to darken up with age and look a little bit better. I just like how those GHI Mojaves are born over the GHI Lessers. Personally, this one's got a lot of color, but it's definitely GHI. So 2 Lessers, 1 GHI Lesser so far. You'd expect about 4 and 4. Of course, here's a 3rd straight Lesser I'm pulling out. So, it kind of is what it is, right? This isn't as exciting as a clutch cutting, y'all. I know. I'm sorry. It's just kind of how it happened to work out today. And we'll pull out the 4th straight Lesser here. So there's 4 Lessers, 1 GHI Lesser, I believe. Yeah. Oh, we do have 1 egg to cut. That's not a good sign, though. There's another GHI Lesser right there. And another GHI Lesser right here. Now, if you're keeping score, that's only 7. That means I do have 1 egg to cut. The fact that the rest of them are already out and this thing isn't even open yet, honestly, guys, does not give me a lot of hope for this egg. This is one of those things, we're going to cut it, but we're probably going to be vastly disappointed with results. So far, we've done all of our cuttings live this year, right? And we continue to do that. And this is the closest thing to not being live, I guess. And you're going to have a bad result every now and then. Now, overall, we got 7 out of 8 eggs that are good. And I got this egg that I am 99% sure is not going to be good. We're going to cut it anyway, probably create a stinky mess. But we want to do that. Hey, get back in there. You're not supposed to find your way out of that little spot. Come on. Stay in that pile. Be good. So, before we do that, let's look at this year so far. We've cut a lot of eggs on camera this year, and we've had a lot of success with that. I mean, we haven't had very many problems. I do think we had 2 that we cut that weren't out, which we'll get to them in our clutch update, that I can't remember what clutch was even from at the moment, that were a mess, like were not survivable issues. That we went ahead and removed from the egg and fed off, right? Where is Kurt? He is still doing videos. He does a lot of filming, so you never really seen Kurt in many videos. He doesn't film the lives because that's usually just me and a camera, or me and Caleb and a camera. Caleb's back visiting family for the holidays. Should be home. Shit, whenever he gets home. I mean, he's a free man. And Kurt's home with his family today. So Kurt is still doing videos. He does a lot of our editing. So whenever you see those videos pop up, he's the one that put that together. Still does all of our rat work. Still brings rats up, helps feed. Kurt is still just as involved as he ever was. But however, back to what I was saying, when we do these things live on camera, this is a risk we open ourselves up to, right? If I wasn't somebody who did all of these live, I could look at something like this and think, you know what? Maybe I don't want to show this, right? Maybe I just want to skip this one and record them and only release the ones that are good, never release ones that have a bad result. Overall, this clutch is not a bad result. I want to be clear. It's amazing how well you guys can move and figure shit out. Come here, you. They say having no legs would be a disadvantage, but I don't think that's the case. So we're going to go ahead and cut this, but I want to let you all know we're going to find a dead snake, most likely. So now we know that, let's go ahead and flip the camera around here and get to work, shall we? I can remember how to tilt this thing down. Yoink. So this is the egg in question. And there you are. That does not look pretty far developed, but it is a dead baby. Now, you're probably saying, well, it don't look that bad. It looks a little bit. Get in there. Hey, get in there, guys. Come on. Boop. Looks a little bit milky, etc., etc. How do you know that's dead? Well, your nose will tell you a lot of times. I can manipulate that thing in the egg without any movement. Here, I'll show you guys some more. This is a not fun part of the job, by the way. Here, just ain't gonna matter, so we can cut that off, which I don't usually do. But if you watch when we touch that, I mean, we can be violent with it. There's no reaction, right? See, it almost looks stiff. That's a dead baby, y'all. That's what that is. So we'll push this back over to the side. We'll throw that to the wildlife to feed it. Won't make you stare at that anymore. Flip you back up here and flip you back around. So there is one, and you're not going to win them all. Like, if you do this long enough, man, I promise you are not going to win them all. We got 7 out of 8. 3 out, so we hit the odds. Actually would have been perfect. That one looks like it was probably a GHI. So it would have been 4 for 4 or 4 for 8, which is what you'd expect. Of course, Lester's going to pass on. We missed it a little bit because we happened to have that be our bad egg. It is what it is, guys. I mean, I'm not going to get freaked out about it because we're on clutch 27, and I think that's the first one we've had. We've had a clutch of all slugs. We have some things like that this year. But overall, cutting things and having them be alive when we cut them, I mean, we haven't had a lot of issue with that. That might be I can count them on one hand. So we just haven't had that. All right, cool. Warbles will catch in a bit. So 4 for 4 sounds pretty good. Well, I wish we'd have went 4 for 4. Oh, if you talk about ball python eggs, yeah. I mean, we've had a good success rate back to where my expectation is for babies coming out of eggs. That's I know we had one that did kill itself come out the egg due to. It's so funny. I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny that it happened, but we had a clutch. We cut a freeways, right? And it was one everybody could kind of see kind of was twisted, Oh, now I get it. And we were able to untwist that one. We were able to manipulate it out. It was born a little small. It's normal when that happens. You usually drop their yolk early because you mess with them so much in there. But had we not messed with it, we had bigger concerns. And then another one we couldn't tell was twisted up, which was one of the ivories. Came out when it started to come out, pulled the cord tight around itself. Of course, they freak out when that happens and try to run out, making it tighter and worse. And in essence, usually choke themselves out, and it killed itself. So we did have that happen, which is every now and then going to happen. All in all, though, when you're 27 clutches deep, and you're having to struggle to remember any issues you've had, that's not bad. It's not bad. We'll take that. We do track every single egg that's laid here, and I mean every single egg from a slug on down. So come the end of the year, we'll be able to look back and say, okay, who made it out of the egg alive, right? How many eggs were slugs? How many eggs do we have? What is our live hatch rate? So I want to know just how many eggs, how many babies crawled out of that egg and still kicking. That's question number one, versus how many fertile eggs we have. Then I also want to know what my slug percentage is. Like if I have 100 eggs and 95 of them are viable, that means I have a 5% slug percentage. I like to track that because I do think to some extent some of those variables are within our control, right? Healthy amounts of food, temps, things like that will lead to a lower slug rate, in my opinion. So, but it's hard to see that if you don't track your data. So where tracking data becomes such a big deal. All right, guys, so simple little collection of GHI lessers and lessers. The lessers are obviously going to be just that. We're just going to, they were just made to make GHI lessers, to be blunt, so yeah. But in this market, I kind of like having stuff like this. Is all the lessers going to sell on Patreon? No, they're not. But can I take those lessers to a show and sell a bunch of them at a low price? Sure. They'll pay for my table and things like that. They're fun to hatch. They keep my displays full when it's time to go to the show. Because I'm one that when I go to a reptile show to sell snakes, what I really like to have is, a mix. I like to have some stuff in that, $75 to $150 range. I do. I like to have that on the table. I like to have stuff in that $250 to $500 range on the table. And I like to have a handful of things that are above that on the table, all the way on up. I don't want to just have $1,000 plus snakes, and I don't want to just have $100 snakes. I like to I want to catch people buying their first reptile. I want to catch people buying something that they're considering an investment reptile. That's the ultimate goal. And that's why we have not taken and backed off these female breeders that are like some of our lower end things, and why we probably won't. If I had a smaller area, or if I was out of room, I could package about 10 of my breeder females together, get rid of them, and buy, one or two multi new gene projects or whatever, right? I could do that pretty easy, and that's not a bad play for some folks. But for what I want to do, it doesn't make much sense. I can get those anyway, and or raise them up, and we have some of those that we have done that over the years. And I can breed stuff like this at the same time, and I can hit every level, every tier of that market, so to speak. All right, guys, do you have any questions? And if you don't, I'm going to finish setting these guys up so I can get them into their incubation, or not incubation, their pre-shed tub. And then I am going to go on Patreon after I do that, so that way I can talk with those folks. But before I do any of that, I want to know if you have any questions. If not, I'm going to get off. If you're wondering what's around the tub, I was just marking as clutch number 27. That way I keep track of where I'm at. This one was 7 out of 8. Not too shabby. I prefer 8 out of 8. 8 out of 8 is much better than 7 out of 8. But I'm going to live with 7 out of 8. Sad. I hate losing one. I really, truly do. All right. Seeing no questions, we're going to keep this one fairly short today. Hop up off here so I can set these up. And then I've got a plethora of other work to do, because since the office is closed today and everybody's not around, I get to do a few things that just need fucking doing. That's how it kind of works, right? It's kind of a work day for me. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See y'all next time.